Have you ever met an artist whose talent seems to have no bounds? Well, you will today. Join me as I sit down with the Princess of Controversy, next on Views and Vibes. If her bohemian vibe and wild hair doesn't tip you off that you're in the presence of a true artist, then her endless talent will. My guest today is a vocalist, lyricist, playwright, actress, community activist, and much, much more. She was a finalist on the TV One reality show, Stage Black. She's a star of her own play, The Breakthrough, and she just released a new album, Soul Hop. Plus, she's one of my former neighbors. Please welcome Princess of Controversy to Views and Vibes. What's up, girl?
What's going on?
How you doing?
I'm good, chilling.
Great to have you here on the show.
Indeed.
Well, I always like to start off asking my guests, particularly my artists, one question. What one song throughout all of history do you wish you had written? One song.
Wow.
It could be anybody, anytime.
Oh, God. It's so many songs. Probably We Are the World.
Why is that?
I mean, just because it was like a song that unified people, or maybe Michael Jackson, Man in the Mirror. Okay. I like that one.
Okay.
Just because it's like I'm all about like self-reflection and things of that nature. And yeah, that's a song that like just hits you like in your gut. So,
now,
yeah.
Because you do so many different things, because you sing, you rap, you know, everything that you do, but you also act. What one role in all the movies, all the TV shows or whatever, what one role do you wish you had played?
Ooh, one role I wish I had played.
Now, Claire Huxtable, I don't see you doing.
Claire Huxtable, I could do Claire. I could do Felicia. No, okay, there's a lot of movies that I like to see. You asked me like to narrow it down.
Just one. What's the first one that comes to mind?
Celie.
Really?
From The Color Purple.
Wow. Could have pulled that one off, right?
Yeah, it's serious.
Right.
It was a serious. Whoopi did an excellent job, but I love that. I love that role.
Okay, so Princess of Controversy. What's that name all about?
Well,
I mean, I know your name is Princess, by birth, you know, but for everybody watching who doesn't know about the Princess of Controversy, please explain what your name is.
Well, I mean, it's real simple. I mean, Princess is my given middle name, and I basically started going by Princess. My father passed away. He actually named me Princess, so that was the first part of it. And when I first started rapping, I really didn't even know that I was going to be rapping. Okay. Like, I had no idea, but the things that I was talking about seemed to be like things that were against what was like mainstream radio, as far as like, it wasn't like Popio this or, whatever. Right. And so it was like, oh, well, this is probably going to be controversial. And then it was like POC, it was like POC. So it was like, oh, okay, this could be a marketing play off, Princess of Controversy. So that's kind of how it came about. And then just my personality in itself, it's like,
and you got plenty of that. You got plenty of personality. We know you got a lot of personality. Right.
And so, at first, it's almost about like that whole, at first glance, you think you can kind of label it, and then it's like once you actually dig deeper, it's like, oh no, there's much more.
Right.
So,
right. And one thing nobody can say about you is like put one particular label on you, because you do so much. Another title that you use is artivist. Now, what is an artivist? An
artivist is my way of combining all of my titles and my slashes into one.
Okay. Now, did I miss any? I said lyricist. I said, vocalist.
Let's see. I don't know. Director, public speaker.
Right. All right.
All of them. But the thing is that artivist is basically like you have a lot of artists now, especially like in the DC community, who are both artists and activists, and that means that they're really involved in like community issues and using their music or their art form as a sort of a doorway for like social change. Right. And that had always been my thing. Like ever since I was little, you don't know that those are the titles. You know what I mean? Right. But at the same time, it was like, okay, well, I do all of these different things, and I don't want people to be like, well, when people go, well, choose just one. Right. I couldn't choose just one, because I was like, well, I write for a particular purpose with the sense to inspire. So I was like, but because I'm able to do all of these different things, I want everyone to be able to get that whole just gumbo,
Right.
you know. So Artivist sort of came from that, and it was just like that moniker too, like the Artivist, you know. Cute for you for voicemail too. So.
Now, when you do this, when you actually take your art and put it into some kind of community activism, what are you actually doing? How do you make that work?
Well, a couple of different ways. I mean, one of the main ways that I started was doing like volunteer workshops and teaching. I started with like an Upward Bound program right out of college. I started teaching. I had at that time I think I was calling it Holla at Me or Real Talk, and I was basically just taking like real life experiences and songs and going in and teaching about hip hop, but also teaching not really necessarily about like the history of hip hop, but about how to construct songs and how to use your real life as a form of expression, and how to be able to put that into like a performance. It then turned into real talk discussions about peer pressure, about, you know, different things in schools. That was for like younger people, and then for adults it turned into more things about developing as a man and a woman, about, you know, relationships and stuff like that. So that's kind of like a way, as part of like teaching. Another way is like through like mentoring. You know, when I was younger, I was in the Big Sister, Big Brother program, and I remember doing all sorts of things with my big sister, cooking and all of this type of stuff that I, you know, and I was like, I wanted to be that for other people. And so a way that I do that is just like, I could stop and talk with somebody on the street, or, you know, in a structured setting, and just use every opportunity wherever you are as a place to be able to, you know, just spark an inspiration, because I know that for me, I'm made up of so many different people's experiences, and like something somebody might have said to me that just stuck with me for the rest of life. So I think that I use, you know, education and sort of like inspiration as a way, and like different mediums too. So
now, what is your first art? What was your first art? Out of everything that you do, your first art
was theater.
Theater. So you love being on stage, and right
from the age of like, I can't even remember. My mom and dad both said, like, I used to pretend when I was little that I was Diana Ross, and I would be like, thank you very much. And but yeah, I did my first play when I was probably like 6 or 7, and I played a rabbit. I was like, it's called Who's in Rabbit's House, and so that was kind of like where I got my start, and I was like, ooh, I'm in love with this.
And see, and now you're making your own. You're doing your own plays. You're producing your own plays, directing everything. And what we're gonna do right now, we have to take a break. But before we go to break, we're going to show you a clip from Princess's play, The Breakthrough.
Why did I choose to be an artist anyway? I mean, people don't respect you. You gotta explain to everybody why what you do is important and why they should pay you. Man, I'm sick and tired of struggling, right? Yo, I'm sick and tired of being a struggling, starving artist, okay, God? Okay, creator? I'm sick of it.
No.
Allah.
Uh-uh.
Buddha.
Girl, I said no.